On today's show, we review former LSU basketball star Jordan Mickey's decision to leave early for the NBA, and we'll recap LSU baseball's win in the Wally Pontiff Classic versus ULL.
And later, Mitch Raveley joins the show to talk about the start of the MLB season, and in honor of opening day, we take a look at the fandom of each MLB team.
Come and kick it with some funky soul brothers, because Halftime in Hodges starts right now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition, an April edition of Halftime in Hodges. I'm Taylor Curette.
And I'm Pat Gunther, sitting in for Chenille Reed because of a championship rec league basketball game.
Oh.
That is not an April Fool's joke. Honestly, he has a championship game tonight, so you got me on the desk with you, TC.
Yeah, well, I mean, best of luck to him in the rec league championship. But we got a lot to get to. We react to another LSU basketball player leading for some quick cash. The Raging Cajun Mitch Raveley gets us ready for some baseball. And Pat and I take a look at the loyalty of some MLB fans, but let's start with that LSU basketball. The LSU basketball team has had a rocky past 2 weeks, from the high of making the NCAA tournament to the low of getting knocked out by NC State, and unfortunately the hits just keep on coming for the Tigers. In a text message sent to NOLA.com, Mickey said, quote, "Today I will be announcing that I will forego my final 2 years of eligibility here at LSU and enter my name in the 2015 NBA Draft. Discussing my options with my family, I believe this is the time to move on and accept new challenges at the next level." This season, Mickey had 16 double-doubles, averaged 15.4 points and 9.9 rebounds, and a nation-leading 3.7 blocks per game, en route to the All-SEC first team. He will leave Baton Rouge as the only player other than Shaquille O'Neal to block more than 100 shots in a season in LSU history. Now, Pat, the Tigers are going to lose two of the most impactful players in the team's recent history, with Jarrell Martin and now Mickey both heading to the NBA draft. Looking at their performances at LSU, how do you think they'll fare in the NBA?
Well, it's tough to say because each of these two guys has such a high ceiling, but we haven't really seen it, sort of the tip of the iceberg kind of situation while they were here at LSU. Obviously, you can see here Jarrell Martin shooting an abysmal 31% from beyond the arc. Yeah. That leaves something to be desired. According to this projection, they have him going number 27. I've read some things that have him going maybe 29 to the Nets. But the consensus is he'll be a first-round pick. And obviously, Jordan Mickey, great defensive big. But I think he's a little undersized. Frankly, I think he's a little undersized for the four in the NBA. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out for the two of them.
Right, and you saw Jordan Mickey was projected 80th pick. So a lot more, maybe work to do training up for the NBA draft.
Absolutely, he's got his work cut out for him. But we will have to wait and see when the players will be selected in the draft on June 25th. So stick with Tiger TV Sports for draft updates when the time comes. Now jumping to the diamond now, the LSU baseball team returned to the Chocolate City last night to face rival ULL in the Wally Pontiff Jr. Foundation Classic, looking to get back on track after the disappointing series loss to the Kentucky Wildcats. The Tigers returned to form last night as the offense powered the 8-6 win over the Raging Cajuns, while the team totaling 10 hits, including 3 home runs from Alex Bregman, the Ocho, Cade Savick, and Chris Chinea. Bregman will go on to tally 4 RBIs on the night, while sophomore pitcher Russell Reynolds was on the bump for the Tigers and stretched it 4.2 innings, allowing 2 hits and 2 runs along the way. He also did have 3 strikeouts. Jesse Stallings, the closer, entered the game in the bottom of the 9th and notched his 11th save on the season in an efficient 9-pitch final frame. Now, after the game, head coach Paul Maneri and slugger Alex Bregman were both pretty pleased with the offense's firepower.
I think we have the second highest batting average in the whole country. The best batting average in the SEC by a pretty wide margin. You can't fake that after 29 games. That we got some legitimate hitters on our team.
Coach Canizero and Coach Maneri give us a plan, and that's be aggressive and compete and get our money's worth at the plate. And I think guys have been doing it.
Alex Bregman and the rest of the Tigers will return to action Thursday for a weekend series versus their arch rival Crimson Tide in Hoover, Alabama. The game will also be broadcast on the SEC Network Plus.
Jared Poche expected to be on the mound as well. Well, the LSU gymnastics team is looking forward to competing in the NCAA Regional in Ames, Iowa, inside Iowa State's Hilton Coliseum this Saturday at 4 o'clock Central Time. The Tigers will compete against 9-seed Nebraska, 16-seed Denver, and the regional seeds of Washington, Michigan State, and host team Iowa State. This tournament also marks the 31st consecutive NCAA Regional berth and the 33rd overall in school history. Now, head coach Dee Dee Bro is no stranger to the tournament herself, as she says her team is looking forward to competing against some new opponents.
Be able to go somewhere that we've never been before and to be competing against teams that we haven't seen yet this year, I think is a little bit refreshing. So we're not, facing the SEC again. It's truly a representation of a regional championship. So we're looking forward to the venue and to the competition.
Well, this week's competition will not be televised, but check out the LSU Gymnastics Twitter account and, of course, TTV Sports for updates. Well, coming up after the break, Mitch Ravelet gets us ready for the start of the MLB season. And when you know it, he's talking about the Yankees.
Of course he is. Should have put some card stuff in there. Mitchell Beauregard Ravelet.
Yeah, St. Louis.
Joseph had the assist, and outside, that will count. Watch this. With Bellinelli there, Chalmers gets it to go.
Spanning the globe to bring you the latest news in the wide spectrum of global athletics, this is the Wide World of Sports. With the opening week of baseball season coming up over spring break, we have a special opening day themed segment for you today. The Major League season gets started on Monday night at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field on the north side of Chicago. On Sunday night, the rebuilt Chicago Cubs and new manager Joe Madden will play host to the rival St. Louis Cardinals as they look to start their campaign for the 2015 World Series title, which would be their first since 1908. Former Red Sox ace John Lester will be on the mound on opening day for the Cubs. On Monday afternoon, Alex Rodriguez and my New York Yankees will play host to the Toronto Blue Jays at Yankee Stadium in the first daytime game of the season. It will also mark the first time since 1996 that Derek Jeter will not be in the opening day lineup for the Yankees. 19 years that the captain wore the pinstripes for the Bronx Bombers. Later on in the day on Monday, the Washington Nationals will play host to the New York Mets, and things will get wrapped up at night when the Houston Astros play host to the Cleveland Indians. I took to the streets today to ask Tigers across campus who do they think will win the World Series this year.
I'm thinking the Texas Rangers.
I think the Mets, the New York Mets, are going to win.
I think the Dodgers. I think they're going to win.
I might be a little biased, but I think the Marlins are going to bring it home this year.
Look who we ran into. It's Tiger TV's own Amanda Luskin. So, Amanda, who do you think is going to win the World Series this year?
Well, Mitch, I would like to hope the Mets are going to win the World Series, but I know that's never going to happen in 100 years.
As for me this year, guys, I'm a believer. I believe the Chicago Cubs will break the curse of the Billy Goat and win the World Series for the first time since 1908. Move over, Steve Bartman. Back to the Future 2 actually predicted that the Cubs would win the World Series in 2015, and I'm not arguing with 5,000 gigawatts in a flying DeLorean. Legendary Cubs broadcaster Harry Carey summed up the Cubs' chances for us at the end of the 1992 season.
Sure as God made green apples, someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series, and maybe sooner than we think.
And as sure as God made green apples, that's your Wide World of Sports for tonight. Pat and Taylor will be right back.
Wiggins. That's all that needed to be said on that is wow. That is.
Welcome back to Halftime and Hodges. Thank you, Mitch, for that Back to the Future reference.
Oh, it was great. No, absolutely not. But we have some interesting things here today.
Pat? What we got?
So we got a map from SB Nation
Okay.
detailing the fan breakdowns, sort of. There you go. The
For
fan
MLB
breakdowns
fans.
of the MLB
Okay.
teams. Yeah.
I see.
The interesting thing, though, TC,
What's that?
there was no representation of the New York Mets or the Oakland Athletics.
Really?
So effectively, they don't have any
fans.
They don't have any fans.
According to the map.
Yeah, according to the map. And usually maps don't lie. to my knowledge.
No, never.
I'm also surprised to see the reach of the Texas Rangers. I mean, I know you guys don't really have any baseball teams here in the South, but it's pretty impressive.
Atlanta Braves had a pretty good reach as well. And Louisiana fans, though, are pulling for the Yankees. I guess that's where Mitch's fandom comes from for the Yankees.
And what about you? Up in Jayville, do you lean
I
towards the
am a
Braves?
Jacksonville Suns fan. Baseball's never been hotter than the Jacksonville Suns. So you can see me at the ballpark.
Okay, well, unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching the show. Maybe you can catch TC eating a hot dog in the ballpark.
I mean, it's spring. Why not? And if you want to catch more episodes, go to our YouTube channel, LSU Tiger TV, and Instagram, Twitter, TTV_sports. You should know the handle by now.
Well, TC, clearly, I've spent the afternoon at the pool. I am in full spring break mode, so let's get it going. I'm out, people.
We're out. We'll see y'all. Goodbye.